it's Mark Dorr. Today we're talking about a little bit about teacher observations. Makes you feel a little nervous, doesn't it? Well, let's talk about that. You know, there are many different ways to do it. And I'm going to start with a little story from my own background. When I was teaching at a university, a very new teacher, still learning, obviously still learning, but still learning just the basics. The director of the department, the head of the department I should say, kind of called in an antiquated rule that nobody had seen used in a long time, and said he could observe my classes as well as my mentor at that time. And I was fortunate enough to have Dr. Joy Reed, well, back then she wasn't doctor, to have Joy Reed take me on and help me through that whole process. And not only did she mentor me, she was a great mentor. Not only did she mentor me as a student teacher, but she helped me out so much in my early part of my career, and I sure could have done things better for her. And now that I have more experience under my belt, I want to say sorry for any of my mistakes, Joy, and thank you again so much for everything you've done for me. She's just been wonderful and stayed in touch over the years and let me be a part of one of her books, so that was great. But anyway, I was excited to have Joy. I wasn't excited to have the head of the department. But what could I do? And so every day I would go in to teach, and Joy would sit in the back of one corner, and this other person would sit in the other corner. And Joy would listen, nod, smile sometimes, look concerned sometimes. The other person would just continually make loud and look down and scribble away. I would go to see him first, and he would destroy me. And then I would go to see Joy, and she would build me up again. This continued through that whole student teaching time. It was exhausting, to say the least, and not fun. I could have gotten more out of the experience had it not been for this constant negativity from this other person. But did I learn from it? Yes. And I'm not fully sure why he did it. Perhaps he did it to help me. Perhaps he saw that I needed to really get kicked in the backside and get going. Maybe. I have to give him that. And later, he certainly saw me as a valued member and even gave me projects that were very high value projects. So I can't tell you why he did it, but I can only tell you I thank everybody for the experiences they gave me as a teacher, and that experience could have been different for me, but it really helped me later on, because when I did teacher evaluations and observations, and when I do them, I remember that time as the brand new student teacher facing all of that goes on with people watching you and teaching your class, and then having even more negativity coming in. That makes me aware of that as a teacher. And you might want to think of that too. The things that a student teacher goes through, think about how we look at evaluation of students these days. We used to see it as sort of we're the gatekeeper, and you have to be just really hard and scare the students practically. And now we realize we're trying to evaluate them, not see how they can live through the terror. Well, I still see sometimes administrators and supervisors looking on the teacher observation process as kind of gotta live through the terror time. I want you to think about, are you truly evaluating that teacher's work? Or are you evaluating their ability to survive that? If that's the case, then you're not helping the teacher or your institution. You need to look at that as a time to see, is that teacher getting the content across that needs to happen? Are the students learning it? Are they applying it? Are they integrating it into other things? Are they able to use it in so many other things that you can look at? Just a little food for thought to all the teacher educators, all the administrators, all the supervisors and directors out there. Good luck, everybody, and have a good teacher observation.